Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we are currently working on developing our new Old Town hub over here. So that is absolutely wonderful. Apparently these businesses require additional educated workers, and that's fair enough. We actually don't have any education down here in this hub. That is something that we should probably think about. Let's go ahead and put an elementary school in over here. I think that I will place that perhaps over here? This angle is super awkward. And in fact, I think I'm going to place it here. Although now that I think about it, that might not be the best place in terms of coverage. We are instead going to place it like, say... Well, it's because of the one-way, right? Hang on a moment. One thing that we did not do is we did not flip some of these around. And I think I do want to do that. I think I'm going to flip... Let's see. This one is fine. This one is fine. I'm going to flip this one. Just for purposes of increased coverage. So I'm going to flip this one as well as... Let's see. This one out here, I think. So something along the lines of that, in theory. Should go fine. And we probably do want a high school down here as well. I don't know that we're going to need a university, in all honesty. But we're definitely going to put a high school down here. And yeah, see, that helps the coverage so much. It helps it somewhat, anyway. it helps it a decent chunk. So let's go ahead and place our high school, I think, like, down here. That'll do. Excellent. So that should help our education down here. If we need a university down here, we can build one. I do want to actually check in on how our university is currently doing. We actually should build one down here. We should build a university down this way. We could build it here. How much will that affect the actual slope here? I'm guessing quite substantially. And because of that, I'm not going to build it there. I think we'll need to build it like out over this way because it's going to be a little on the big side. I don't think we're going to be able to fit it into here for sure. And that does, of course, mean we'll have to take out some of these power lines. That's fine. Most of these power lines are probably completely unnecessary at this point. We can, in fact, go through and evaluate those. But I'm going to put the university, say, right over here. Okay, so let's take a look at our power coverage here. This power line is still necessary. This power line is absolutely unnecessary. I did not mean to remove that road. There we go. Okay, so back to power lines. This power line up here is quite unnecessary. This is no longer needed up this way. Is this power line needed? We could get away with getting rid of this power line. This power line is necessary, as is this, and as is this for now. Okay, so that is fine. That is completely okay. I want to double check our zoning up here. Yeah, we did update all of the zoning. We could put additional zoning in here, but I think I'm going to avoid that for now. We can, however, definitely get away with putting in some office zoning right there. Excellent. Okay, so how is our metro doing here? It's not super overloaded, in all honesty. Okay. Well, we definitely could use... we've got police going there right now. Okay. We definitely could use a little bit more in terms of our... Hang on, these need to be zoned like that. We could definitely use a little bit more in terms of our residential over here, I think. So let's go ahead and zone up this little area. About like that. That should do for now. And then we are going to also zone in, I think, this area commercial. Since so much of this arc over here is taken up by this park space. Which that's okay, to be sure. Wow, the bouncy castle is pretty popular. Fancy. That is a very large dog. Okay. Fantastic. This park appears to be far less popular. Well, that's okay. That is completely fine. So how are things going up here? It looks like there's not too much that we need right now, actually. I want to check in on this traffic. It's better. It's definitely better. It has improved. One thing that we may want to think about at some point... I'm just observing these guys. Okay. Yeah, one thing that we may want to think about at some point is a direct connection here. From highway to highway. I'm not sure how I would go about doing that. Perhaps in this space? Can we squeeze one in? That space already occupied. Distance too short. Yeah, I'm not shocked that we can't really squeeze one in. Maybe if we curve it. Ooh, hello. It's a little awkward. But it seems to work. That one is sloped too steep. Okay. That's distance too short. Let's see about pulling that out over this way. Yeah, I'm not surprised that a lot of these are challenging to construct. This is pretty expected, if you ask me. And I'm actually interested in seeing just how many vehicles actually make use of this. Because this is going to be a decent chunk of work to get all of these in. And we're just going to see how useful that actually is. So then, if you want to go southbound, if you're going this way and you want to turn all the way around and go southbound for whatever reason, you're going to be required to do what? The path would be that you come down into the circle, come up over this way, go out this way, come up over here, and then on-ramp like that. But I mean, turning all the way around on the highway is not necessarily what people are going to want to do too frequently, right? So there's definitely that. But yeah, I'm just wondering just how many people in this traffic are wanting to turn right here, essentially. And it looks like there's not actually all that many, just based on what I'm looking at here. I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and once this traffic cycles, we'll maybe be able to see a little bit better. But I don't think that that's actually going to alleviate that traffic too much. So I don't think that that's something that I'm going to spend a lot of time attempting to implement. Especially since it kind of ruins the aesthetic. Like, I don't like it.
It's the sound of refreshment.
Some people are using it, but it does mean that this on-ramp, while it is still being utilized, is being utilized a substantial amount less. While at the same time not really alleviating this issue over here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end up eliminating this.
What do you do while you listen to Cities Radio? Drop me a line and let me know. In the meantime, let's play some more music.
I mean, it is being utilized fairly regularly, right?
The Noodle Masters.
So there is that.
What stage of life you're in, we have the perfect noodles for you. From birthday noodles to wedding noodles.
I'm doing it. I'm getting rid of it. I don't like it. We can't fit it in any of the others. We'd have to rebuild this entire intersection, and I don't think it's worth it. Considering that they can just get off here and go up here for the same effect. I think it's fine. I think it's completely fine. Let's see, this is all going this direction. Okay. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I mean, once again, these are largely being caused by people not getting in this lane, right? That's the biggest issue that we've got here. And I actually want to check our laning here. Let's see here. This should be turn only right here. Similarly, this should be turn only. If you're going straight, get in this far lane. Excellent. Similarly, this should be turn only. And this is already set up that way. Wonderful. Hello, pause menu. Okay, so that will hopefully force some people to move over into this lane if they're going straight and keep them out of the center lane. So that will be helpful. It will alleviate some of these issues, and in fact, that did seem to alleviate this issue right here. So that's great. Now, it could just be time of day. That's definitely something to consider. And we're not surprised that this structure is abandoned. They had education requirements. So that is completely okay. And we're going to continue to expand our residential section over here, since there is apparently a pretty substantial demand for that. That is going unsatisfied right now. Excellent. There's a little bit of office demand, and we can go ahead and make this out over here be offices. Yeah, I know it's technically industrial demand, but offices don't pollute as much. So there's that. Ah, yes, dead people. I don't believe we have a crematorium down here. That's definitely something that we should put in, and that is definitely something that we will put in. Excellent. Traffic is, of course, going to be very light down here. We're going to mostly just have service vehicles and cargo vehicles. That's all we're going to have. Because our outside connection is served via this metro over here. So that should be just fine. No worries there. Citizens are sick up over here. How is our hospital coverage? I mean, it should be pretty decent up here, except that we could use, we could use one somewhere over here. Except that's one way, so it would actually have to be, over here? Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this medical clinic to the other side of this road here. Because this is one way, so that way they can come down this way and go into other directions. That should help. Pretty tremendously, in theory. Excellent. How's this traffic looking? About the same. About the same. This is a very, very long wait. Do they have to turn? Ah. They're turning into the far lane here. And I'm wondering why exactly they all are going into the far lane. Then they switch to the middle lane. Yeah, they're all required to go into the far lane here, which means they have to wait until it's clear in all three lanes. And I suspect that's the issue here. And I'm wondering if they're doing that because this is a turn lane. We could switch this back to a single lane highway like that. And have anything exiting the circle be single lane and entering the circle be double lane. That may clean things up a bit, actually. Because that will mean that they have two lanes here that they could turn into for going straight. Yes, this was a lane that could do both, but I think that they were avoiding the lane deliberately. That is my current theory. This is definitely flowing better, I think. We've still got a pretty big backup. But that's not shocking, all things considered. Not shocking in the slightest. Okay. Well, we'll let that continue to go for now. There is definitely a traffic issue there. But, I mean, mostly it's because of lane selection, right? That's the biggest issue here, is lane selection. I do want to double check our signage over here. Yeah, these are all yield as they enter. This one is not set up, so we would have it be like that. Okay. And yeah, that all looks good. Fantastic. So what are these guys waiting on? Just space in here, I guess. There they go. That moved a lot of traffic. Yeah, excellent. There are definitely periods of time here where they could go. I mean, one thing we could do is we could go into the options here, into the traffic manager settings, and we could change their reckless driver percentage to, like, path of evil. And yeah, disable despawning if at all possible. Make them more reckless. I mean, there's no traffic accidents, right? So this should actually improve traffic flow pretty substantially. In theory. I disabled despawning, but we're definitely seeing vehicles despawn up here. Let's check that again. That doesn't appear to do anything, so... I mean, it probably does something, just not what I was expecting. To be more clear on what I'm trying to say there. Almost certainly it doesn't do what I was expecting. Okay, so we need to do a little bit more zone developing over here, and that's definitely something that I'm willing to do. We'll do a little bit more residential over here. How are we doing on our population, actually? We're at about 22,000 pop, so that's not too bad. Let's also get a little bit of commercial zoned in over here. And we may want to get a little bit more officing in over, like, over here-ish. We can place it here. That'll be fine. At some point soon, we're going to have to start working on another hub. And again, I kind of want to have it be, like, up here. It'll be truncated by this water, and it'll connect in over here, and then we can have, like, another over here and another up here or something. They're going to be overlapping, that's for sure, but it'll be something along those lines. Okay, how much traffic are we getting through the metro here? Quite a lot of pedestrian traffic in the metro. That's good. I've seen more, of course, but that's completely fine. What's going on over here? What indeed? This is uncontrolled. So I want this to be yield here and here. And this should be priority. Let's clean that up. And we may want to make this be 2-lane, since we are seeing a backup here. So we could do something along the lines of this. Can't do it. Okay. Now we can. Fantastic. So we'll get 2 lanes in there. And it'll take a little time for them to actually move to enable that. Okay. Just keeping an eye on this situation for right now. Do we have any other of these situations? I don't believe so. That should be basically the only one. Yeah, for sure. We've definitely developed a fair amount of traffic on this circle in here, and that is something that I'm reasonably okay with. I mean, we're getting a little bit of backup over here, but technically they could take this route over here, right? It goes the same direction, it's just a bigger circle. There are alternate paths, they're just choosing not to use them. Okay, now that we have 2 lanes over here, we have at least more storage space in this parking lot. So that's nice. Fantastic. However, this has cleaned up nicely, which should mean that these get an opportunity to go quite soon. Yeah, this traffic should start to move. This might be a good candidate for a stoplight, though. In all honesty. So do something like that. These guys are currently what? I believe that's a red light on? Yeah, should be. But yeah, I believe this may be a good candidate for a stoplight. Yeah, that should, I think, be reasonably decent. Okay, so what else do we have going on up here? I don't believe that this is a good candidate for a stoplight, just based on the design here. Our core issue is that we're struggling getting traffic into this circle, right? So that, of course, means that this circle needs to be priority and needs to keep flowing. A stoplight kind of ruins it. We may want to consider... We're getting a lot of traffic here, and I'm wondering what exactly their goal is. Some of them are coming down this way. Some of them are... In fact, many of them are coming up to get to this highway. Ooh, dead people? Ah, thanks, Twitter. Okay, so we are then going to see about getting another crematorium, perhaps over here. Excellent. We also have some sick people, and I wouldn't necessarily mind putting in a medical clinic, like right here. Okay, that should help. And yeah, this seems to be ticking along reasonably well with a stoplight. Fantastic. That is a lot of hearses. Okay. Wonderful. But yeah, I really think a stoplight defeats the purpose of this up here. I mean, we could give it a go. I don't like the concept. The stoplight would be there, 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 and, like, there. And this would be based on traffic levels, not timing. So we'll see how much that disrupts this flow. It will likely disrupt it a fair amount. And I want to check signage over here. Yeah. This is supposed to be yielding. I wish that we could do the traffic light for just like 1 or 2 lanes and have this lane, this outer lane, always be through. I feel like that would be really nice. That does slow down transit on this circle pretty dramatically. The question, of course, being, how much does that improve flow for these vehicles that are stuck up here? So we'll let that run for a little while, and we can see over here there's a lot of traffic backing up here.
Are we lawyers? Are we accountants? Well, it's a complicated question, probably requiring
to the point where I may want to think about upgrading this road.
What do you think? Seems to me that there's a lot of you out there who might
I'm thinking about it strongly.
Accounting, but that's not legal advice.
I mean, we could upgrade it to something like a 6-lane one-way road. That would take a lot of space, and we would have to move stuff, right? But it is something we could theoretically do.
I'm Al at Cities Radio, and I just wanted to thank you for taking a break from listening to all the other sounds of the city. You know, the honking, barking, yelling.
I'm thinking about it.
chirping, to
I have
listen
not
to
yet
true sounds of the
decided,
city
but I'm
right here
thinking
on
about
Cities
it.
Radio. We'll be playing the best music from around the globe all afternoon. So stay where you are.
Other
and
potential
don't go away.
options is putting a thing over this way, like putting, say, a 2-lane one-way road over this way that comes in like that, approximately. And that'll bypass this intersection. The question is, how utilized will that be? And the answer is perhaps fairly. Perhaps fairly. That does seem to have cleaned things up.
This is Elle, playing you the best
For sure.
music around.
It reduces a lot of stress on this intersection,
Pretty much all day.
and I like that.
I hope they don't forget
Now,
to bring my
this
lunch.
is still becoming an issue up here, and I don't really like the stoplight solution. I think I'm going to remove those. What if we just have it be completely uncontrolled? What would that end up looking like? People are stopping in here, and I don't like it. Okay, so that would be like a stop sign there, and there, and there, and there, and there. I mean, a yield sign would theoretically do the trick, but we'll see what it looks like with a stop sign. I'm just experimenting with stuff on this right now. We'll see what it ends up looking like. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue working on developing this hub and probably continue to obsess about some traffic over here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.